Good morning, and welcome to my little coffee corner. It's another day, and the most important part of my day, coffee. I wanted to chat a little bit more about navigating art block and the lessons I've learned in the last year regarding this. It's not my first rodeo with art block, unfortunately, or I guess fortunately. I do think that my art block this time around has been more manageable, though I guess that could be debatable. At least in comparison to last year. Unfortunately, that was probably the worst art block I've ever experienced. Not only was it long, almost 6 months long, which is way too long, I was so deep in it that at one point I felt like I had lost all hand-eye coordination. I know that sounds dramatic, but I could not for the life of me draw what I was seeing. And that was a very scary moment. But I do think that there is a time and place to stop and to listen to your body and to take a break, to find other ways to fill your creative cup. I think my biggest mistake last year was completely stopping. And not just for a few days or for a few weeks, but for months. I even stopped my doodle-a-day practice, and that's how I knew it was really bad. I think I believed I was resting at the time, but the problem is it didn't feel restful. If anything, I was spiraling thinking, God, when am I going to feel ready? I was waiting for that strike of lightning, of inspiration to hit, and of course, she never came. If there is one important lesson I've learned, it's that you can't count on inspiration. She's like a fleeting lover, a one-night stand, maybe even a summer fling, but she doesn't stick around for long. You know who sticks around? Discipline. Honestly, I hate to admit this as someone who has trouble keeping a steady routine and has ADHD, but discipline, she's it. And that's what I've been trying to do this time around. Even when it feels hard and it doesn't feel good, I try to sit down, close my door, and start with my doodle. There's a section in Stephen King's memoir on writing where he talks about the importance of his daily writing routine. Okay, the man literally writes every single day, like birthdays, Christmas, New Year's, which is wow. Anyways, he also mentions how we need the room and the closed door, or if not a room with a door, a private place where we can lock in. The section wasn't so much about creative or writer's block, but some friendly advice on how to start writing. But I still found it helpful and comforting in knowing that even great creative legends like Stephen King go through the same mundane routines, and also don't rely on their muses to always show up. I also recently learned about artist dates from creative friends who have read The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron. The idea being to take yourself out on a solo weekly date with the goal of nurturing your creative inner child, exploring things that spark wonder, curiosity, and joy. That could look like going to an art museum or checking out that new exhibition, or in my case, at least this time, a trip to the Berlin Botanical Garden and Museum.